Welcome back, everybody. This is Coach McCurry from Baseball by the Yard. Thanks so much for stopping by. The last video I did on my website, which is baseballbytheyard.com, I was talking about pitchers and their need to kind of change their sights up when they are throwing breaking pitches. Now, if you did not get a chance to see that video, just check out that link up there and you can see what I had to say about helping pitchers spot their breaking pitches a little bit better. Now, today is somewhat of a part 2 of that. In the previous video, I did allude to the fact that in the future, I would do a video for pitchers who are trying to do a better job when they get an 0-2 count or possibly a 1-2 count, and they need a swing and miss pitch. They need a strikeout, and they need the batter to swing and miss. Now, of course, that's easier said than done. Not everybody has a swing and miss pitch. But one of the bigger problems that I see with all pitchers, when they try to throw an 0-2 or a 1-2 count, they do too much. Quite often earlier in the count, which got them to 0-2 or 1-2, they're nice and relaxed. They just throw their breaking pitches and they end up throwing strikes and they snap it off because they're really not putting a lot of emphasis on it. They're just throwing it and letting their mechanics take care of it. And that's going to generally result in some better pitches. But the problem kids run into is when they get an 0-2 count or a 1-2 count, they try to force it. Now they think, all right, well, if I need to get the batter to swing and miss, then I have to put some extra spin on the ball. I need to snap that slider off even better, or that curveball. And usually their mechanics change. And when their mechanics change, that's when we get some problems like we now hang the slider, we now hang the curveball, and we make it much easier for the hitter. So I think a lot of pitchers kind of work too hard on this, and it does involve trying to set your sights properly. And if you do, those 0-2 and 1-2 pitches become much easier. Now, in the previous video, I mentioned that on normal pitches, so if we're just trying to throw a strike with a breaking pitch, we want to aim for a location on the catcher or possibly even the umpire, and we want to focus on where we want the ball to start as opposed to where we want the ball to end up. So if I want my ball to end up right where the glove is, on my breaking pitch, I wouldn't aim for the glove. I would aim for a spot on where I want that breaking pitch to start so that it ends up in the glove. But that changes when we have an 0-2 or a 1-2 count. In those situations, I don't mind if the ball bounces right down here. I don't mind if the ball starts out on the corner and then breaks down in the dirt. If it starts coming at home plate towards the corner, the batter, especially with 0-2 or 1-2, is going to think, I'm going to have to swing at this, and then when he does, the ball starts to break out of the strike zone. So here's where you change your sights. You don't do anything different with your breaking pitches in terms of you don't hold it differently, you don't snap it off any differently, you don't try to force it. You throw your breaking pitch the same way you did before you got to 0-2. What you do is you change the sights. Prior to 0-2, you're aiming for a spot where you want the ball to start so that it ends up at the glove. When you get to 0-2 or 1-2, now you start aiming for the glove. So if the catcher is set up on the outside part of the plate and I have an 0-2 count and I want to throw a swing and miss slider, I am going to set my sights on this glove so that the slider starts at the glove, and then when the batter starts to swing, that's when it breaks out of the zone and the catcher can either catch it or block it and so forth, okay? If I try to change my grip and I try to snap it a little harder, quite often I'm going to hang it, something's going to change, and I don't need to do that. And that's something all pitchers have to learn. You don't change the way you throw a slider. You don't change the way you throw a breaking pitch. You throw it the same way every time. What you change is your sights. Before you get to 0-2 or 1-2, you're aiming for where you want the ball to start so that it ends up at the glove. When you're at 0-2 or 1-2, you aim for the glove, and the ball then has a chance to break down and out of the strike zone. So that is a big tip. It's a little more advanced. Obviously, it deals with pitchers who are already throwing curveballs and so forth, but I think it goes a long way of helping pitchers mentally gear themselves to make better 0-2 and 1-2 pitches. as I said, quite often mistake. Pitchers try to do too much, and they try to get the batter to swing and miss by changing their grips and all that stuff. You don't need to. Just change your sights, and quite often, that's all it's going to take to get the batter to swing and miss. All right, folks, well, I'm Coach McCurry. That's your tip for pitchers today. Have a great day, and until next time, take care, everybody.